Hello again everybody, this is BrommersBlog again with another new video for you. Today I'm reviewing the new Stellaris evaluation kit from Texas Instruments. This is the new kit based on the ARM M3 Cortex, and what we're going to run through today is just what's in the box and just take a look at some of the features, first demos you can do with this. So firstly, hey, this is quite a tightly sealed box. This kind of looks like a little kind of CD the selection thing. So we got the boards, which I've already got out. You get a number of USB plus Ethernet leads. You get there the Ethernet cable and a memory stick, and also you get the CD-ROM here, DVD, which contains all the documentation. Now, one of the first things is you don't get actually any paper sheets, for the documentation. It's all contained here on the screen, what you can see right now. So basically, when you get into the disk, you'll see there's a HTML file. So here we get all the documentation. So we can see here, data sheets, etc., etc., plus all the application notes. And within here as well, we get the quick start guides. And on the tools, apart from getting some useful tools for like the FTDI, which is like the USB, etc., we also get the evaluation version of the Kyle Microvision IDE, which we can use for some of the Hello World demos that we'll come to later. So firstly, just looking at what's on the screen, I'll just show you in terms of the software. Here we can see the actual folders here, so the documentation, tools, and all the HTML files. So when we look towards the hardware, which I've got connected up at the moment, we get the two boards. Essentially here we get the debugger, which essentially there gives you can see access to the JTAG, plus we get the USB and the drivers for a virtual COM port to the PC. So this allows us really the full debug access to the board when we've gone beyond using it just as an evaluation kit. Here is the actual Stellaris board itself. So as we can see here, we've got the Ethernet connection as well as USB. Essentially what the Stellaris kit is great to get started with is for anybody looking to start designing with Ethernet or even USB on-the-go type applications. And what you'll find in all the example files are a number of things there that you can look to use to start to develop in your own communications, setups, etc. So one of the things I would recommend is when you're working with this board is obviously there's quite a few drivers here to load up for like the FTDI, for the USB not only on the Stellaris board but also the debugger board too. So just do take care to read through those documents first to make sure that you've got it right. Now what I found was quite useful was when we look inside the actual, trying to see the output from this device, we use, basically I use Term, which for me is kind of one of my favourite terminal windows, a lot more easier to use. So when we first set up the board, what we get is just a readout here where we get the option to connect to either the USB virtual COM port, which we just looked at before, or using the Ethernet port. So when you first connect up the board and reset, the actual application here searches for the IP address of the actual Stellaris board. So that takes a few seconds. So what I've actually done here is already run that. So what you get here there, we can see an IP address for the actual Stellaris board, plus a net mask has been done. So what you can see here, it says the Colossal Cave Adventure. Must admit it's not one of my favourites, but hey, adventure games never were. But let's take a look at the output from that. So when we come to the actual program, whoops, wrong window again. So, and then what we see, and this would come directly from the Stellaris board. Now this is inbuilt, already programmed into the flash on the device. So a simple adventure game. As I said, designed somewhere around the turn of the Industrial Revolution. But we see we're standing at the end of the road and we can simply sort of go west, etc. within there. So when we look towards the Cortex and what this really offers as a new processor, based on the new M3 Cortex, which is a 32-bit processor, here we're running at 80 MHz with an onboard 256K of flash. So even running at 50 MHz, there's a pre-fetch buffer in the architecture which allows you speeds of up to 50 MHz and beyond for fetching data from there. On top of this, you get a myriad of interfaces for Ethernet, MAC and PHY on board. You get 10-bit 16-channel A to Ds. You get a USB, I2C. You also get I2S for audio type applications. So, and you know, this is quite a neat little device. So that's the first demo, just a short one to start with. And on the next demonstration I'm going to be loading up the Kyle Microvision environment, and we're going to run through a little Hello World application. So I hope you've enjoyed this intro video to the Stellaris, and I'll look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you very much.